Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Today I'm here with a new super easy mini album tutorial. So let's get to it. So hi guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be making together this super easy mini album. So I wanted to put this tutorial together since you guys were requesting it. This is based on my June mini album. If you guys ever want to join my mini album club, every month I send a new blank book design ready for you to decorate. So the link will be down below. So before we continue making our book, I wanted to share with you my second favorite hobby, which is coloring. Coloring is the perfect way to escape after a busy day. Just put on an audiobook or a favorite movie and get lost on the pages and color. I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, who is Ohuhu. So Ohuhu reached out to me to try one of their alcohol markers, and I am just excited to share that with you guys. So look at all these beautiful colors, and they all come on this really practical like case, so you can take it with you. Sometimes I like to color by the fireplace, or sometimes I like to color before bed. In case that you want to set up like a dedicated coloring space, they also have these really practical bamboo containers, so you can put all your coloring in here and just have a beautiful display on your table, on your desk. And I just love the bamboo and the color, so I also love organizing, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun putting my markers in here. They also went ahead and sent me a coloring book, and I love the images. This is more of like a super easy type of coloring, because for me, when I'm relaxing, I really sometimes don't want to go too much in detail of the pages, and sometimes the adult coloring books have just way too many details for me, and these pages are beautiful. I just love the quality of the paper. Having the spiral bound, I think is genius, because it's so easy to just put it down and color, and I just really love it. So thank you so much to Ohuhu. I'm gonna have the link down below if you guys want to check them out. And now let's continue making our book. So I wanted this book to be really beginner friendly. So if this is your first time making a mini album, please don't feel intimidated. I wanted to make this book super easy to understand and really go in detail how to put this book together. So I also have a cutting guide, so for those of you who like to see the measurements and just kind of cut everything ahead of time, I'm gonna have that link below. It will be on my website as well. So it's just a quick PDF with measurements that you can prepare for before making your mini album. And also I'm going to be listing materials, but I'm also going to share with you, if this is your first time, I'm going to share with you what you're going to need to make a mini album like this. So basically you're going to need some cardstock. So I use two types of cardstock. So for this book, we're just going to make it all white, but sometimes I like to mix in some different colors. And so we're going to be using 65-pound cardstock, or 176 grams. And also I use 110-pound cardstock, or 300 grams. So sometimes depending on the mini album, if I'm gonna make it really heavy and more interactive, I might only use the 65-pound, but I do like how the 110 just gives you that heavy weight consistency on your books. But I think you can definitely also make books with only 65, especially if you're gonna be covering the pages with some heavier weight design paper. Then we're also going to need some double-sided tape. So I don't have like a new package to share with you, but I do have most of my most used mini album supplies or crafting supplies listed on my Amazon store. So you can always find the link to my Amazon store on the description box, and in there I'm always just kind of keeping track of all my favorite things for crafting. So I have my score tape, then my favorite glue, which is really strong. You only need a little bit of it so it doesn't wrinkle your paper or wrap your paper. And then also magnets. So I won't be adding magnets to this book, but in case you're interested in knowing which magnets I use, they're always listed on my Amazon, and that is a link that I'm always refreshing as well. And then you're gonna need some chipboard. So let me grab my chipboard here. So my chipboard is also listed on the Amazon store, but I'll share this with you. I basically buy the 8.5 by 11 what do you call these, 25 pack. It is medium weight chipboard. So again, it will be linked below. So sometimes I buy the 8.5 by 11, which is what I use mainly, but also sometimes I get the 12 by 12 if I want to make like a 10 by 10 book or a larger book like that. And so yeah, so that is pretty much it. That's all you need to start making your own mini album. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the tutorial, and let's get right to it. So we are going to start with the pages. So I'm going to be using 110-pound cardstock on a white to make this book. And for the base pages, let me just grab here a bunch of these. And so for the base pages, we are just going to keep the page at 8.5 by 11. And all we're going to do is score. So let me bring my score board here, and we are going to score along the 11 inches at 3/4 inches. Okay, then we're going to score at 1.25, and then we're going to score at 7.5. Okay, and we are just going to repeat for all the pages. So 3/4, 1.25, and 7.5, and you are going to need 4 for your book. Okay, so 3/4, 1.25, and 7.5, and then we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so we're just gonna fold here. Okay. Oh, and then we also want to fold this one back. Okay. Fold like this. So that's 2. Then we're going to fold right there, and then fold this one back. And then we're going to fold and fold this one back. So very, very simple. These are going to be the base pages, and then we're going to be working on each one of these. So this is going to be the front, and then for the back you're going to have the flip side or the flap, and we're just going to put this to the side and continue working on the pages. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the layout. So for the first page, I'm going to cut one piece at 5.5 by 8.5, and we are going to score this piece at 1/2 inch along the 5.5, and then we're just going to fold, and we're gonna grab our first page, and we are just simply going to glue this piece right here on the side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add my glue. Okay, so we're just gonna add the glue here, and we are going to line this up and press down. Okay, and then for the back we are going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be 6.5 by 8.5, and again we're just gonna score at 1/2 inch along the 6.5. Okay, and then fold along the score line. And then we're now going to be on the back, so we're going to open the flap and then just add this piece here along the right side. So we're just going to add the glue and add this right there. Okay, and then press down and press down. Okay, and so those are going to be the first 2 pages. So super simple. 1 flap here and then 2 flaps on the back. Now I'm just gonna put that to the side and we're gonna work on page number 3. So for page number 3, I am going to use this little leftover, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score along the 5.5 at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then just fold along the score lines. And then I'm going to cut another piece, and then this one is going to be 5.5. Okay, and I'm gonna do this one by 7, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 5.5. Okay, so now we're gonna bring back our page. So this is gonna be our page number 3. And again, I'm just going to glue 1 on each side. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one here. So add the glue, and then we're going to line this up next to that score line. Just gonna place this right there, press down, and then we're going to do the one on the other side. Okay, and so we're just going to place this right at the center and press down. Okay, so again, super simple, but now we have a little bit of layering effect in there. So once you add your design paper, you can see the different levels. Now for page 4, I'm going to use another piece at that is going to be 5.5 by 8.5, and this one we are going to score along the 8.5 at 4 and at 8, and we're going to fold these along the score lines like an accordion fold. And then we're going to bring back our page, and we already have the flap here included on the base page, but now we're just gonna glue the accordion folds over here on the right side. So I'm going to add my glue, and we're just gonna place this right at the center and press down, and so we have these accordion folds, and then we have the other flap there as well. So these are going to be pages 3 and 4. So we're just going to put it on the pile. For page number 6, I'm going to cut one piece. This is going to be 6.5 by 6.25. And I'm going to score at 1/2 inch along the 6.5. So right here. So we're gonna score at 1/2 inch, and then we're going to fold along the score lines. Then I'm going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be 4.5. So I'm gonna use that leftover. So this is going to be 4.5 by 7.25. And then with this, we're gonna make a pocket. So we are going to score along the 7.25 at 1/2 inch and at 6.75. And then along the 4.5, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to cut the corners. So we're gonna cut and fold along the score lines. Okay, fold, and then we are going to bring this back, and we're going to go ahead and glue this flap along the top. Okay, so this is the first piece. This is gonna go along the top of the page. So we're just gonna put that right there. And then we're going to open this up, and we're gonna glue the pocket on the bottom section. So we're just going to add the glue, and then we're going to line this up here on the corner. So we're just gonna put that right there. Okay, and then press down and press down, and then over here we're just gonna have a flap and a pocket. So now for the back, I'm going to do another pocket, but this time the pocket is going to be along the lengthy side. So we're gonna cut a new piece. This is going to be 9.5 by 5.5. Okay? And then we're going to score along the 5.5 at 1/2 inch, and along the 9.5 we're going to score at 1/2 and at 9. And then again we're going to cut the corners here for the pocket and fold along the score lines. Okay, so we're going to fold and fold, and we're going to bring the page back. So now we're on the back with the flap, and we're going to add these right here on the right side. And so we're going to add the glue on the 3 sides here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and add the glue, and then line this up. Make sure that you stay clear of your bending line for the hinge, and then we're going to press down, and press down here. Okay, so now we have the same flap, and now the flap is actually going to be a closure for this pocket here on this side. And those are going to be your pages 5 and 6. So you can see how easy it is to put this mini album together. So now we're going to be working on page number 7. So for page number 7, I'm going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be again 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, and then this other one I'm going to cut at 5, okay, by 8.5. And I'm gonna do one more piece, and again I'm just trying to use my leftovers. So this one is going to be 4.5 by 4.25. Okay, and then we are going to score these pieces here. So first I'm going to score the first piece, that is 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 5.5. Okay, then for the second piece we are going to score at 1/2 inch along the 8.5. Okay, so let me use this. So along the 8.5 we're going to score at 1/2 inch and fold. And then the piece that is 4.5 by 4.25, we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 4.25. And then just fold along the score lines. And so now we are going to bring back our page, and first we are going to glue the piece that is gonna go open to the side. And so I'm going to add my glue on this 1/2 inch section, and we're going to glue this right there. Okay, so press down. Then I'm going to add the piece that has the score line along the top, and we're gonna glue this piece right on top. Okay, so that is gonna go here, just like that. And then I'm going to add the smaller piece right here on the center to kind of hold all of these back. And we're just going to add the glue and put this right there. And so press down. And so there's gonna be this page. It opens like that. Then this opens up and this opens back like that. And now we're gonna work on the back page here. So for the back, I am going to cut a new piece. This one is going to be 3, so let me see if this is 3 by 9.5. Okay, so I think this actually works. And we're going to score this piece here along the 3 inches. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, and along the 9.5 we're going to score at 1/2 and at 9. And then we're going to cut the corners because this is going to be a pocket. Okay, so just fold along the score lines and fold here. Then I'm going to cut another piece, and I don't know that I have a scrap for that, so I'm just gonna cut a new page here. And this one is going to be 3 by 9.5. So I'm gonna cut this at 3 by 9.5, and we're going to score along the 9.5 at 1/2 inch and at 9. Okay, and we're going to fold along the score lines, and we're just gonna cut one more piece. This one is going to be 6.5, so this should work. Now I need to cut a new page here. So 6.5, and then we're going to score this piece at 1/2 inch along the 6.5. Okay, so folds along the score lines. I lost my tool. Oh, here it is. Okay, and so we're gonna fold, and now we're gonna put the page together. So we are going to glue first the 6.5 piece. So I'm gonna open that up, and then this is going to go here on the left side, or the right side, sorry, right side of the page. Okay, so we are just going to add the glue and place this piece here. Okay, so we're gonna add that, press down. Then we're going to use the one that has the 3 flaps, and we are going to add the glue, and we are going to just glue this piece here. Okay, and then press down. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to close the flap that I already had here from the page, and I'm going to add this belly band. Okay, we call this the belly band. This is going to go right here on this page. Okay, so right there, and I'm going to add the glue, and I'm just gonna line that up with the edge here. So I'm just gonna go right there. Okay, you can also put it on the center, but you want to make sure it's on this flap. Okay, and so what we're making here is basically a pocket. This is gonna open up, and then this is a belly band, and it's gonna keep these two pieces together. So all you need is just another photo mat. So I'm gonna use this scrap piece, and we're going to cut these maybe at like 8 1/4. Okay, you can do any size, 8 1/4 or 8 inches, and then I'm gonna do this by 5 1/4. Okay, and we're gonna use this to go under that belly band. So this is gonna go under here, and then you're gonna just pass it through, and it's gonna go inside the pocket and basically keep this page locked together. So it's always fun to play with paper and add little closures like that, so you can avoid a magnet, and also just kind of have like a cool secret page that opens up here. So you will take that out and then open this up, then you still have the pocket here, and then open that up right there. So super simple, the design of this little book. And so now we are just going to make the base so we can add our pages. Okay, so now we're gonna put the cover together. So I'm going to go ahead and use just the lightweight cardstock for the cover, and you're gonna need probably just 3 pieces of that. And then I went ahead and cut my chipboard. So I have 2 pieces at 9 by 7 and 1 piece at 9 by 3 1/2. And so what we're gonna do is just join together the cardstock. So I'm going to add some glue here. Let me get this going and connect these 3 pieces here. So I'm just gonna put this one, and we're gonna add the glue, and then just add this piece right here, and then we're going to glue our chipboard pieces. So I'm going to start here at the spine. We're gonna add some glue. Okay, and I don't like adding a lot of glue because I don't want my cover to look, sometimes the glue wraps the paper. So this is a really strong glue, so you only really need a little bit of that. Okay, so we're just gonna do it like that, and we're gonna leave a space between the 2 pieces, and then we're gonna do the same for the other side. Okay, and just leave a little space right here. Okay, so put this one a little bit lower. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to just cut the extra here on the sides. So I'm going to leave about 1 inch all the way around. So cut that, and then we're gonna cut that here, and then we're going to cut the corners. Okay, so just like when we do the pockets, we're gonna cut here to avoid the bulk, but you want to leave a little space of white cardstock and not go too close to the chipboard. Okay, and then we're gonna do that here, and then do the same like that. Then we're going to be using double-sided tape. So I like using tape because it's a lot faster than waiting for the glue to dry. You can also use the glue. You just want to make sure that you hold the glue and wait for the glue to dry. Otherwise it might come up again. So the glue, the tape is a lot easier and faster. Okay, so we're just gonna start folding slowly. Okay, you don't want to go too fast, too hard, because then you're gonna crack your cardstock. So we're just gonna slowly fold, and then we're gonna press down. Okay, and we're going to remove the tape and just fold these again and press down again. Okay, and then on these gap sections you're going to score just like that, and then we're going to do the same here on the back. So I'm going to add the double-sided tape and then press down, and now we're just going to fold the cardstock. Okay, so slowly fold it first, and then just start pushing this down, and then once you have it all the way down, you're gonna go and just give it a good fold like that. Okay, and then we are going to remove the tape and fold this here again, and then we're going to score on the gaps again here. And now for the sides, you want to go around the chipboard like this. Okay, just really define the corner right there, and then we're going to add again the tape, and then we're going to fold, slowly fold, and then press down. Okay, and then we're going to remove and fold down. Then we are going to do the same on the other side. So just define the corner, add the tape, and then we're going to fold. Okay, so slowly fold and press, and then we're going to remove the tape and just fold this again and press down. There we go. And so that is basically going to be our base, but now we're going to protect the inside of the spine. So I'm going to be adding my double-sided tape here, so on the sides of the gap. Okay, so I'm just going to add 2 pieces right there, and I like adding tape here or extra glue in that area, because usually that is where we bend the cardstock, and sometimes you get some air bubbles in there, so I want to avoid that. And now we're going to use another piece of lightweight cardstock, and I'm just gonna cut these here maybe at about 6 inches. So this is going to be 8.5 by 6. Okay, so here is my piece, and then I'm going to remove the tape, and we are just going to glue this down. Okay, so I'm going to add the glue, okay, and then you do want to add a little glue over here, and then we're going to put this piece right at the center just like that, and then we're going to press down. Okay, and we're just gonna let the glue set here for a second. Just press down, make sure there's no air bubbles, and then you're going to grab a ruler. Okay, and we're going to score again along the bending lines. So you will see the little score lines right here, or the bending lines where we scored, and you're gonna match the top and the bottom here, and just give your cardstock a gentle score. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like that, and then you're gonna start folding. Okay, and as you fold, press down here on the line again to just have a really neat bend. Okay, and then you're gonna go like that, and now we're gonna do the same. Okay, so match the lines, and score. So go a couple times, but go really gentle. And then we're going to fold this up and score right there as you fold. And there you go. Okay, so now you're gonna have these two your base ready. And the next thing we're gonna do is just add the cardstock on the inside covers. So I'm going to use 2 pieces, and going back to my heavyweight, these are going to be 8.5 by 11. So let me just grab a couple here from this side. Okay, so 8.5 by 11, and you're gonna have 2 of those, and we're going to score along the 8.5. I'm going to score at 6 3/4. Okay, so we're just gonna score here at 6 3/4. Okay, and that way you're gonna have another flap right here. Now if you don't want the flap, you can just simply cut it at 6 3/4, but I am gonna have that for both. Okay, and then just fold and fold, and then we're going to bring back our book, and we are going to glue these pieces down. So let's add the glue. Okay, and then we're going to add 1 on each side. Okay, and then just press down right there, and then let's do the same for the back. Okay, so that is gonna go here and press down. Okay, so now we have these 2 flaps, and I'm going to move these out, and now we're just gonna go ahead and add the pages to our book. So I'm just gonna just clean up here a little bit because I won't need any of that. So here are my pages, and so we have our 4 signatures, and we're gonna start from the back and going towards the front. So I'm going to grab the first signature, and we're going to add glue on this 3/4 inch section. Okay, you can use double-sided tape, but I like the glue because you have some time to adjust. Okay, and also this glue, it's really good. It's gonna make your book last for a long time. And so we're just gonna line this up here. So you're gonna place this next to that bending line. Make sure that you leave a little space so you're not in the way, and then you're going to press down right here. Okay, so again, just hold it, give it a second to dry, and that's gonna be that page. Now you're gonna put that to the side, and we're gonna continue with the next page. So we're gonna add the glue on the 3/4 section here, and then we're going to add this piece and press down. And so we're adding that right next to where the other one ends, so not leaving any space. The 3/4 inch is basically your distance between the 2 pages, so you just need to put them really close together. Okay, so that's gonna be that, and now we're gonna continue with the next. So again, we're gonna add the glue and just put this right here, press and down. Okay, and then this last page, which is our first page. Okay, so we're just gonna place this one right next to that and then press down right there, and there you go. That is going to be your pages and your book. So you are done here. So let's just do a quick walkthrough. So we have our first opening flap, then we have the first page flap, the back page right here, then this one a little bit smaller so you can layer, and then on the back you have an accordion fold and another flap. This one opens up, you have a pocket, and then this one opens here, you have another side pocket. Then we have this little flap, this opens up, this opens to the side, and then for the last page we have our belly band. This comes out, this opens, you still have your pocket, this opens here again, and then all of that just closes with this piece here. And then for the back you have this other flap, and then you can always add another flap on top of these if you wanted to have more. But there you go, that is going to be our 9x7 super easy album. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Again, I have the link to my mini album subscription club if you guys are interested on receiving a blank book every month. I'll have the link below, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. So before we continue with making the book, I wanted to share with you my second favorite hobby, and in the case share with you these beautiful alcohol